Friends, Romans, and Patriots, lend me your ears and strap on your tinfoil hats, because it is time for the Gay Frog Chat. The Gay Frog Chat is a weekly panel discussion where we go into different conspiracies. This week, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, including the new war with Iran. But Corey was just telling a story, and I thought maybe he would like to tell you guys about it, because it's pretty fucking crazy, and Corey's basically a hero. So
I wouldn't go that far, but
well, I mean, let the chat decide, I suppose.
Okay, so earlier today, I left the house to go pick up a new gun that finally arrived at my local FFL, and I came to a red light and I was making a left. And as I was making the left, I saw this mom, come to a screeching halt, jumps out of her truck, panicking, goes to her back door, opens it up. I pull over and ask her, is everything all right? And she didn't hear me, so I said, "Do you need help?" And she said, yes. So I pulled over in front of her on the side of the road, ran over there, and it turns out her baby was choking and having a seizure at the same time. And her grandma or her mom was in the back floorboard with the baby, just pulled it out of the car seat. So I took the baby from her, and I was trying to clear out the baby's airway, and his face was blue. His lips were blue. His face was turning blue. And it started freaking me out. So I started patting it on its back, turned it over, did a couple compressions on its chest, turned it back over, patting its back. And I turned it back over, and color started coming back to his face a little bit, but he was still having trouble breathing. So I wiped his face off because he had, just nodule everywhere and remnants of food. So I was about to do some rescue breaths, and he started, breathing a little bit. So I turned him over, did some more pats just to make sure there wasn't uncleared, in his airway still. And he just went unconscious in my arms, which freaked me out. But I noticed he was slightly breathing. So I think, he was choking he started choking because he started going into a seizure. And I think it was a febrile seizure, or how you say it, febrile, because he was very hot to the touch. You could tell he was burning up. And so as I was tending to the baby, another couple had pulled up at the same time I did. The guy in that car got on the phone with 911. He was handling that while his wife was trying to keep calm the mom and the grandma of the baby while I was working on him. And it seemed like it took forever, man. I just crazy and just was doing what I could for him. Finally, the ambulance and stuff showed up, which seemed like forever, but it was like maybe 5 to 8 minutes. And I almost ran across the street because they went across the street by accident, but someone stopped me. But I ran and gave him to the paramedics, gave him a full rundown of what happened. And I went and told the mom, "You need to go in there with your baby." Grandma went in too. And the firefighter asked him to move my truck. So I kind of took that as my cue to leave. But before I did, I went in and told Grandma that I'd be praying for them both. And the little boy was in the firefighter's arms, and he opened his eyes and looked at me. So
that's awesome, dude. That's a good story, dude. That's a fucking great story.
And to be honest, when I left, I pulled over again. I called my wife, told her what happened. And being a dad, you understand, I care a lot about kids, especially kids. But man, I broke down for a minute. I'm not gonna lie, I broke down.
Dude, when that's crazy, man. When my oldest son was about 7 years old, something like that, we were laying in bed. Like, this is back when everybody lived in one room in this house, and I built a bunk bed, and one was sleeping on the top bunk, and me and the other one were laying down on the bottom one, and he was asleep and I was still awake. And I thought that he was having a bad dream. He starts moving around and stuff, and I'm like, "Jack, are you okay? Jack, Jack, Jack." And he went full fucking seizure, breathed out every bit of air that he had inside of his body, and then just started shaking and violently convulsing. His eyes rolled into the back of his head, and he didn't breathe for about a minute and a half.
Unfortunately, there's not much you can do with the seizure. They had to just go through it.
Well, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I had never dealt with a seizure before. I had never seen that before. And it was happening in front of me, and I thought my son died because he stopped moving at a point. And like, I'm like, he's in my arms. I thought I fucking lost it, dude. And then all of a sudden he just starts breathing again, you know? And so like, call 911, ask him what I should do. They're like, well, is he breathing now? I'm like, yeah. They're like, we'll take him to the hospital. You know, there's no need to send him an ambulance. Just if you can get him to the hospital, it'd be quicker for you to just do that. So
right.
Called my ex, who was drunk and didn't give a shit, by the way. Jesus. And so I took him to the hospital and, you know, stayed with him all fucking night long, and they did a bunch of tests, and they wanted to put him on a bunch of seizure medication. And I'm like, well, I mean, let me look at the side effects of this shit, you know, like what kind of and it turns out like it's like real bad, you know, like taking the seizure medication has all kinds of negative side effects that are really bad for you, especially for a kid, you know.
Was he happen to be sick at the time? Like maybe sick and had a fever? Because children, you know, basically infants to about 5 years old, they can have febrile seizures from being sick and having a fever.
Well, it was a grandma seizure. And
okay.
And it was apparently triggered by not sleeping enough because we were up late playing games and doing stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And basically the short version of the rest of the story is that I made sure to enforce a strict bedtime, let him sleep as long as he could in the morning, so he got plenty of sleep. He had one other seizure one time, and it was crazy because in the middle of it, like I was holding him, I saw what happened that time, I knew what was going on, and I was like, I'm here with you, everything's fine, calm down. And he was able to like calm down and then not have a seizure because I was there like with him. So
that's good.
And yeah, he never got on the medication. He never had another seizure after that. So
thank God. That's crazy. And you telling that story just now, man, I'll be 100% honest. I started tearing up because, you know, it was the same way as that baby in my arms, because he finally just went just dead limp, man. And
yeah, I thought he died, dude. Like,
I thought I lost him because, you know, I used to be an EMT, so I knew what to do. And when I was an EMT, I did a rotation in Cook's Children ER in Dallas. And I had an 18-month-old baby come in, and he was in a bad way. He had tubes and wires coming out, so many I didn't know was possible. And unfortunately, I lost that baby. So that was kind of running through my head when I was taking care of this baby. And I was praying that I didn't lose this baby on the side of the road. And, you know, there's people trying to stop and help, and they're flagged away. And everyone around me could see that the baby was in such distress. And when the ambulance and stuff came in sight, there was multiple cars blaring their horns and flagging them down to where we were, you know, even frantically too. But, you know, I stayed calm just so that I wouldn't, you know, if I freaked out, I'm sure everybody else would start freaking out. Yeah. And I told him I used to be an EMT. It's okay. I got him. His name was Mike, baby Mike is what I call it. That's what his name. And that's all I found out. It was just his first name, because I was trying to talk to him and bring him back alert, you know. But when he went limp in my arms, dude.
Yeah, dude, I feel you.
I thought I lost him.
Dude, that's why I couldn't be an EMT or a cop or a first responder or a fucking, even like a nurse or a doctor, you know?
Yeah.
Like old people dying, that happens. People our age dying, that sucks. A kid dying, I couldn't fucking.
And you see that shit in like movies and TV shows and stuff where, you know, parents are panicking, their baby's in distress, and cops or firefighters or bystanders helping. You never think that shit will ever happen to you. Well, that happened to me today. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, thank God, man. That's fucking awesome. Thank God for that.
Amen. Sorry, that got me a little bit emotional talking about it.
Oh, you're good, dude. Like, if you're not emotional about that kind of thing, I think you're a fucking psychopath. Like, Seriously, like that's crazy.
So
Anyway.
big baby.
What's up, HBO Matt? How are you doing, man?
What's up?
You just went through some shit too, didn't you?
Not just, but yeah.
Well, not today, but
You
you got a story to tell. Let's hear you. It's story time today on E Honda's channel.
But like
So
I
what,
said, I wouldn't
you
call myself a hero, though.
I don't know. We'll put it to the chat. Fucking Tim says you're a hero. Dark Passenger says you're a hero. So
go,
thank
go
you.
lift the hammer. We'll see if you're worthy.
So what's going on, dude?
You want to do Livingston or Dallas or what?
Oh, you got multiple stories? All right. Give us the rundown.
You got the old organized crime shit, and then we got Dallas arresting me for open carry.
Oh, shit.
Dallas arrested you for open carry?
Yeah.
Isn't it legal to carry in Dallas?
Yes.
For open carry?
Not when you're in the Dallas police headquarters and they don't like it.
Oh.
Okay, go on.
Oh, I mean, which one you want to do first?
I want to hear Dallas, man. Arrested for open carry.
Yeah, so Dallas city buildings have a bunch of illegal no weapon signs up. I was doing City Hall. That's what I've been doing a lot lately is Texas state law changed and you can open carry into any open meeting now. So city council, school board, railroad, county commission, everything. As long as the building itself isn't a prohibited place. So the school board meeting's in the middle school gym, but you can't do that one. So I was doing City Hall, and they still weren't following the law. They'd also made the entire building a weapons-free zone except for guns. So they let me into the building with my gun. They wouldn't let me bring my pocket knife in, and then they wouldn't let me into the council meeting with the gun. So I got the AG complaint in on that. I've got a bunch of cities to comply. So Corpus, San Antonio, Houston, Temple, Waco, College Station, Conroe.
But if you guys don't know, real quick, HBO Matt is a Second Amendment auditor. He goes around to places and basically tests the police to see if they are going to comply with Second Amendment laws. And then, I mean, I know you've sued successfully because they haven't and held them to account in the past. Yep. So
well, that's it. A
couple of towns that you talked about is my old stomping grounds, Conroe being one of them.
Well, you go to Conroe now. They took down all the no gun signs and all the security, and you can just walk right in.
Good.
For the city council meeting.
Aren't you the one that a while back that had the issues with the Beretta and the suppressor?
Yeah, that's the other thing going on now. Yeah. Well, it's still I was still doing the Beretta and the suppressor at Dallas. They didn't like it. So I figured if City Hall is going so far as not only blocking off the council room but the whole building, the other city buildings would do the same thing. So I went to the police headquarters, and what do you know? They made the entire building a no weapon zone, which they're not allowed to do under state law.
Nope.
So I went in politely, told them your signs are illegal. You need to take them down. I took some pictures, said, yeah, I know you guys aren't going to do it right now. I'll send an email to your boss. And then the AG will send an email to your boss. And walked out, got in my car, went and called the AG office. And while I'm on the phone, some cop comes following out with a body cam trying to find me and record me acting all nonchalant. Starts walking down the street to get behind my car, to get my plate. So I get out and say, can I help you? And she starts freaking out. And I'm like, okay, well, you have a nice day now. I'm going to get out of here. And she says, no, don't get in the car. And I said, am I detained? She's like, no. I'm like, well, you have a nice day. I turn around, don't get in the car. You just said I'm not detained. You're not, just don't get in the car. You're not going anywhere until I find out if you're okay to have that thing, and points at my gun. So detains me for a little bit. Another cop undetains me. Dozen cops show up, code 3. So I decide I'm not going anywhere because I'm not going to try to drive off when I'm now surrounded by cops that got called in for man with a gun at the police headquarters or whatever the hell she put out as the call. And after some back and forth and some stupidity, a sergeant shows up and decides that the way to come after me is for jaywalking. So
Fucking jaywalking is the most stupidest shit ever.
When I tell him I'm not giving ID under 3802, he says, well, you're under arrest for jaywalking. Goes back and forth. A couple minutes later, I ask him, why are you doing this? Why are you arresting me? If you're going to pull this to get my ID, why aren't you just citing me? And he said, well, you wanted to be smart about ID. Well, today you're going to learn the law. You're going to jail. And then they towed my car so they could search it for my tax stamp paperwork or anything else they thought they could get on me. So my car got towed for jaywalking.
Jesus.
Wow.
I fucking
And then they kept my gun for 2 months to do ballistics testing on it, but it turns out they actually did the testing 6 hours later because they put me on the "you just murdered a cop" priority list with the lab.
Wow.
Man, the more time goes by, the more I'm like,
there's one more.
fuck the
There's
police.
one more. There's
Sorry,
one more.
sorry.
There's one more. There's one more fun little bit. They took my cell phone. So I tried to show them my tax stamp on my phone because I wasn't going to let them search the car. And that wasn't good enough for them. And so locked the phone back up. And my phone didn't make it back in my property bag like they said it was going to. I get to the jail and tell the guys, hey, guys, you just dumped my property bag out. My phone's not in there. They start freaking out because they thought it was in there. They put out a radio call to ask if anybody has it. And somebody back at dispatch says, we can't find it. We're going to ping it. And says, yeah, it looks like it's moving. It's moved some. Homeless guy found it on the street 2 miles away outside the Deep Ellum substation. So whatever cop took it, when he heard the radio call go out that it was being cracked, he dumped it in the street.
Wow, what a fucking piece of shit.
A homeless guy found it. I got it back from him 5 or 6 hours later.
Fucking dirty ass police, dude. Like,
No
I know
shit.
not all cops are like that. There are good cops out there for whatever that fucking means. But Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, every time they do something, and it's like, with all of the body cam footage that we have access to, Freedom of Information Act, like, they're just going to be busted more and more for this type of shit. And especially, like, the easier it is for, like, an individual to carry a camera, like the Google glasses, whatever you got, right? Like, they're going to be more and more busted for doing this shady shit. And everyone's going to see it, and it's going to give them more and more of a bad name and stuff. And
yeah,
they need to fucking put that shit in check. And it's people like Matt that fucking put them in check without getting hurt, hopefully, or having anything really bad happen. So,
the really fun thing, I wasn't jaywalking. It's actually in Texas. In Texas, it's almost impossible to jaywalk.
Yeah,
you have to be in a downtown business district to, like not using a crosswalk to be a thing. You have to be in a downtown business district. The downtown business district was 1.5 miles away.
Wow.
So the desk sergeant, when I'm getting booked, was like telling the two guys that transported me, you can't charge him with this. And they're like, well, we didn't write it up. We're just transport. And he's like, oh God. And he tells me, dude, you got a couple $100 in your wallet. Do you want to just cash out bond right now and get out of here? Or do you want to wait for the judge so you can try to get a PR? And I'm like, I will pay $150 right now to get out in the next 5 minutes. Yes, please. And the other two, the correctional officers were like, how do we do that? They'd never had somebody just get walked through to pay the bond on a ticket without going to see the judge first. So he had to tell them how to take me up to the front desk of the jail and then bring me back into the jail and put me out through the Sally port.
Jesus Christ. That's a big fucking lawsuit right there.
Yeah, KERA, they're the NPR for Dallas. They just did a story on it. I have to say, an NPR reporter did a pro-gun story on me.
Really?
I never expected those words to come out of my mouth.
Right.
Yeah, NPR did a pro-gun story because they were like, what the hell is this shit? They read the lawsuit and called my lawyer, I think, and got my phone number. Or something like that. Somehow they got my phone number.
Hopefully that's going to start happening more and more. If I understand correctly, the Supreme Court's recently taken up a case having to do with states and local municipalities banning AR-15 assault weapons, whatever the fuck that fucking means. And also, it's not just that. It's like similar weapons. So if like they're like, oh well, ARs are okay, but AKs aren't. It's like no. We're gonna fucking hear it from the Supreme Court, and I don't understand this. Maybe you guys could help me out. Like, they have like the Bruin decision, for instance, or they have what was the other one that was more recent, or also
Bruin
recent?
was the most recent one. Heller was the older one.
Heller, okay. So Heller and Bruin have basically said like, hey, if something's in common use, or if it's like, I forget what the exact wording is or whatever, but there's all these local municipalities that are like, oh well, I know that the Supreme Court said that, but we're just going to go ahead and pass whatever fucking law we want anyway.
Yep.
And how does that fucking work? Like, when the Supreme Court says, hey, you shall not pass go, you shall not collect $200, why are all these people trying to pass go and collect $200? Like, it doesn't fucking make sense to me.
Because they're tyrants and they don't give a shit about the Constitution or the law.
Yeah, well,
exactly. And they're not having their feet held to the fire, because technically all of them should be arrested for deprivation of rights in the color of law, and never be allowed to hold office ever again.
I agree with that.
I charged my mayor with official oppression for saying she had me thrown out of the meeting for saying "fuck the mayor."
Which,
Damn.
I mean, that's technically freedom of speech. So suck a dick, mayor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, those fucking people like that, they don't like any kind of cussing at all. They think it's something they can stop, and it's not.
I had to get involved because she had a girl arrested for saying "goddamn," and so I went in there and caused a ruckus a couple of meetings in a row. And then Texas law is really specific on how you can't shut down critical speech during public comment. And so I went and charged her with official oppression, and so far they haven't followed through on the charges, but for some reason the next meeting she stopped kicking people out for using naughty words.
Dude, when I was like 16 years old, 17 maybe, I was in the back seat of someone's car. We were driving on the road. There was a car pulled over, and as we drove by them, I laughed out my window like ha 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 as we drove by. The cop then decided to pull us over, and he was like, who's the one laughing? Who's the one laughing? And all the people in the car were like, him. So they fucking pulled me out of the car. They searched me. They threatened to, I forget what they were going to charge me with, but they were threatening to charge me with stuff. And I didn't know at the time that, I was like 17 years old. I wasn't really aware of constitutional rights and all the things that maybe I would be aware of today, that you're completely justified and it's within your rights as a American citizen to laugh at things while you're driving. And I wasn't even driving. So there's that part too. And man, like, I wish I had known some of these things back then, because I would have just I would have mouthed off to him and got arrested and then got a lawyer and went to college for free or something,
That's why we're doing this stuff on YouTube, is to teach people.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
What's up
Cops
with you,
don't want to
Mr.
learn. We can at least make people learn.
Mr. Ohio Patriot? How are things going with you, man?
Oh, it's been so-so at this point. Mostly the heat is just causing me to have issues now, is what it is, because we keep having heat waves all the time now.
Good thing you don't live in Europe. You'd be dead already.
Yeah. I had a dumbass mailman leave one of my packages from Delta Team outside my door the other day without my knowledge, and it was sitting out there for over 24 hours. Thankfully, it wasn't stolen. So that pissed me off, because he should have been knocking on my door, honestly, and he didn't. I have a serial prowler going around my neighborhood now that's targeting old women. And because of that, the old woman that lives across in the next building over has her outside light on every night, so it's hard for me to sleep in the recliner anymore, which sucks. That's the only way I can get sleep now.
Maybe you should stop prowling on old women there in Ohio.
No, it's a black male in his 20s. It's been doing it since summer 2020.
Oh, you're doing blackface too? Shit.
Damn, man. You going all out.
Yeah. So I got my new motorcycle fucking legal today. That's kind of cool. Although,
Nice. Congrats.
well, so I bought this shit with a bonded title. I didn't know. This guy from Texas had this motorcycle for sale. Didn't mention a bonded title, which in the state of Colorado is illegal. You cannot sell a vehicle with a bonded title without specifically letting the person who you're selling it to know, and also having paperwork along with it. There's a form that you have to fill out and turn in when you like register your vehicle with a bonded title. If you don't have that piece of paper, they won't let you fucking register it. So the guy broke the law. And then I didn't realize it at the time because, like, the title looks like a title. It just says bonded in the fucking corner or whatever. And I didn't see that when I bought it. And I took it home and, like, had this new motorcycle. I was looking at it a couple days later and saw that it was bonded. Looked up what that meant online and was like, fuck. So I hit this guy up. I'm like, dude, you broke the fucking law. Like, this is against the law what you fucking did. I want my money back. And he's like, I can't give you your money back. I don't have it. So I basically got stuck with this bike, and according to the internet, there were like 15 different steps that you have to go through to register a bonded titled vehicle, especially out-of-state bonded title. So it's from Texas. I live in Colorado. Started to go through that process. I got some of the paperwork together, and I decided yesterday to go to the DMV just to double check and find out, like, maybe they've got like a packet of information or something that I can have so that they could show me what I got to do to get this fucking thing legal. And the internet was wrong. Fucking AI. I asked specifically, like, here's the situation, here's what I need to do, like, what pieces of information, what do I need to have? And it kept giving me the process for getting a bonded title, period, not like transferring a title that's already been bonded.
Right.
So it's fucking retarded. I had everything that I needed. I would have got it registered like a month ago if not for that. And whatever, it's fine. It's fucking titled now. It was fucking $280 fucking dollars though. I'm pretty pissed about that. And I'm looking at this fucking it's like this list of fees that they charge you for. It was like LGBTQAI plus fucking education for. I'm like, God damn it, dude! I did not agree to this.
So Honda, here you just described the future of the downfall of humanity.
Yeah, I know.
When I got my
you didn't trust the government so much that you decided to trust AI, and it turned out AI was worse than trusting the government to tell you what to do, and you got burned.
Well, you know, I thought if I give it all of the pertinent information that the AI should be able to at least tell me the basic shit I gotta fucking do. But apparently AI's still retarded. It's still fucking retarded. So what are you gonna do?
You gotta stop trying to make Skynet, man.
Right.
Oh my God.
I mean, at this point, I'm part of Skynet. So much of me is online. How many chats have I fucking done? We're on episode 298 currently of the Gay Frog chat. That's right. We've been going for almost 6 years, boys. Speaking of which, Mr. Echo World, how do you do?
Fantastical.
Yeah. How's the heat up north?
It's wretched. It is 50% humidity with 80, 90, and 100-degree temperatures. So not the best.
I got you beat on that one. We are 90+% humidity every single day for the past 2 weeks here, and it's in the 80s.
Oh my God, that's unbearable.
I got you both beat.
I can't sleep at night anymore because of that.
I've got you both beat. I've got you both beat. Hold on. Watch this. Wait for it. Are you waiting? Oh, you already see it. This was the temperature inside of my work the other day while I was running around sweating my dick.
You said
I no longer have a penis. My dick got sweat off while I was at work. It fell off because of all the sweat.
That sucks.
I wrote a letter to the regional manager. I wrote a letter to our old general manager, who's a regional manager in a different area. I wrote a letter to corporate, and I wrote a letter to HR telling them all, basically, I plan on quitting, and here's why. Here's what's going on. You guys need to fix this ASAP. Otherwise, everyone's going to quit, and the entire place is going to be fucked. And I'm saying this out of love because I care about you guys. So, yeah. Lots of fun. Dang. And it's all because the city of Denver won't allow us to have... You need a crane, I guess, to get the fucking AC units on the roof of the building. And so you need permits and paperwork and red tape and all the things in order to get those. And they've been working on it for over a year now, and they haven't been able to get it done yet. So,
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, because last summer it was like we didn't quite have the heat wave like we're having right now, but it was hot as fuck last summer too. So
yeah, you're like a movie theater building, aren't you? An old movie theater building.
I mean, it's 66,000 square feet. It's a pretty big building.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I thought I remember it originally being some sort of theater before it was Dave and
There's a
Buster's.
theater next door. I think that they built that building in 1998, which was when they started that company inside of that building, was in the same
Gotcha.
year. So when they moved in, it was a brand new building. It had never
Yeah.
been used for anything else.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hey, I switched over to driving flatbed, so who knows? Maybe 3 or 4 months from now, I'll be bringing you that new AC unit from Houston or Mexico or wherever.
Well, hopefully by that point, I won't be benefiting at all. I'll be somewhere else. So,
Right.
because if it's 3 or 4 months, I'm going to die before that happens if I'm still there.
I did see something the other day about the weather that there was like 2 big ass fucking heat domes over the United States, causing unusually high temperatures pretty much everywhere in the United States.
Well, they're talking about the El Nino this year is a super El Nino. So you know what El Nino? It's like the Pacific Ocean having like a big stretch where it's like hot water. Like normally it's like not as hot as that, or it's cooler.
Yeah.
And like this particular year, it's like extra hot and extra big. So they think that some places are going to get extra droughty. Some places are going to get extra hot. Some places, for some reason, are going to get extra wet and cold. And I don't know.
That's what we need down in
which.
Corpus.
I know that
Corpus and
Texas
South
would
Texas
get-
are going to get the rain. We need it.
Yeah, we just got a bunch of rain yesterday and today, and we're supposed to get a couple more days worth of rain. Thank God, because dude, it's been over 100 degrees, and I swear to God, it felt like it was 120. It was so fucking hot. It's like
we're supposed to
opening
get
an
rain
oven in your
tomorrow, too.
face.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rain tomorrow too. That's kind of weird.
Well, Zarati, everyone else here has told a story today about something recently that has happened. Do you have any stories? Anything crazy?
To tell you, crazy things to tell you. I mean,
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Just pretty much switched jobs. I went from being a lead position into a coach position, which is like manager adjacent. So they're dumping like new responsibilities and new things that are possible in your lap right now. And like, it's kind of up to me to take it. Like, I kind of see the strategy there. I can either take it or just stay stagnant in my position, because they're giving me all the information I need and all the tools I need to like jump in and go to classes and make this my career. And so it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool to be able to recognize it, but at the same time, fuck, like the pay, it's not what it should be. That's it.
Hey, Frito-Lay's hiring apparently.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been looking for jobs left and right, dude. I quit smoking weed so I could pass a drug test if I need to, which I think by this point I probably can.
You work out a lot.
Yeah, well, plus the heat at my work is making me sweat my dick off on a daily basis, so I'm sure the fucking drug tests have to be fucking close to.
Oil field's picking back up if you want to go out there.
That's some damn good money.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
It is
doesn't
some
grow-
dang good money.
I mean, I'm kind of old, but I can do anything for 6 months. Like,
I have a dog, so it'd be hard for me to get out there. But if I can get her certified, then I would go out there. That'd be dope.
yeah, let's
I
all
worked in the
go.
oil field a couple years, or for several years, many years ago, and it was hard work, but it was damn good money.
That paychecks is what I hear. It's
Like,
just ridiculous.
I think Honda'd be good enough to like drive the pickup truck around that refuels all the other cars on site. He could probably handle that.
Yeah,
That's
Being the
it.
mobile cast attendant.
There's different type of jobs throughout the oil field that you could do. You know, there's obviously manual labor, there's inspections, there's all kinds of shit. You don't have to necessarily do back-breaking work.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'll go to school and get a CDL. I'll go to school and be an electrician. I'll fucking learn how to do fucking mortgages. I don't fucking care, bro. Like, whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter.
You gotta go be an EMT so you can go save babies.
Okay, that's the one exception.
Hey, Honda, go be a cop.
No, I don't want to go
Wow.
Actually, I could.
You said you do anything.
I literally could move to Michigan tomorrow and start down a path that would lead me to be a cop in like 6 months.
Well, you gonna go hook up with Matt?
Yeah, I could just go work with Matt. Yeah.
Why don't
They
you?
make good money, don't they? They do
Yeah,
pretty
well,
good.
my kids are not in Michigan, and I doubt they'd be like, hey, I've got all my friends and my whole life, and everything I care about is here, and I'm like 18 and 20 years old, so that's the time when my friends are the most important, and my dad is probably the least important.
Right.
So as long as you're
So
paying those
we're not going to
checks
come
back.
with you, but have fun, Dad. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to fucking go kill myself. Like, no, I don't think I want to do that.
Honda, I promise if you tell me where Matt works, I won't go do a Second Amendment audit on him. I absolutely promise.
Oh,
That
that's
is
awesome.
hilarious. You
I would
totally
love to
should.
see that.
That's
Be
awesome.
mad in Matt's
Maybe
video.
I'm
That'd be
thinking, should I
hilarious.
tell you? Like, not online, not here for sure.
Coming soon to HBO Max channel. We investigate Matt in Michigan.
But I was thinking about this earlier today. The irony of never enough ammo with how many years he has talked shit and
Yep.
called police tyrants and done all of the things that he talks about with the police. For how many years on the internet has he been saying these things?
Like
And now
15.
he's doing it.
And now he has joined the dark. He's fucking Anakin Skywalker, bro.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. I never thought I would ever see Matt in that position ever.
Well, it is what it is.
I think,
That's
yeah, silencers
crazy.
are legal in Michigan, so I can do the full Monty.
You're way too excited about this.
You could take your bike up there and you could be like Punch from Chips.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Well,
we got
the other go ahead. The other thing we've got going, the old Livingston Open criminal organized criminal stuff. We released the depositions. So the district judge ruled against us, gave all the cops qualified immunity, pretty much said we deserved what we got and get fucked.
Oh, wow.
So we released the phone call between the two police chiefs where they talked about just arresting anybody who records or protests in their towns until we all go away, like Porky
Oh.
style.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then we put up all the depositions, and it's really, really bad. They're the dumbest cops on the internet right now.
No shit.
Jeez,
Yeah,
that's
so-
awesome.
Raising a little bit of money to pay for the appeal, but it's the Fifth Circuit, so who knows what'll happen.
Yeah. So I went to today after I got my bike registered. There's a local Christian coffee shop in Denver called The Drip. Who's making all that noise? Shut up.
Nobody. It's not me.
It's totally you. It's okay though.
All right, I'll close it.
So there's this local Christian coffee shop called The Drip, and they had, I guess, recently made public statements about their view of, and they're not telling anyone what to do. They're just saying, according to our religion, Christianity, homosexuality is a sin. So if you're a homosexual and you're doing homosexual things, you're living in sin. And also that marriage is between a man and a woman, which is, I mean, like, people don't like that. And that's a controversial statement to make online these days or in public, but it's well within their rights, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, to say those things and to believe those things. And, like, it's a commonly held belief of Christians. And, it's not like a surprise that a Christian company would say or think that. Well, they have become the target of vitriol by the local Denver Socialist Party, who have been
I
showing
think cake
up.
shopping them.
Well, they're showing up to their place of business and they're setting up like marching bands that are playing off-key music and holding signs and getting in people's faces and doing all this fucking shit. So I went down there today. Nothing was happening. There was no protest going on when I went there, but I did go there and buy some coffee, which I'm drinking right now, by the way, and get a latte while I was there. And it was very delicious. And the people were very nice. And I was surprised. It's kind of like the Chick-fil-A effect. You remember when there was like that, we're going to boycott Chick-fil-A today thing. And like all of the fucking crazy leftists were like, yeah, we're going to ban Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And then like 20 million Christians showed up to Chick-fil-A. It was the busiest fucking coffee shop I've ever been to, bro. I was like, fuck yeah. So I wasn't the only one.
That's good.
You got a good product. There is no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, it's true.
It's when you're Arby's and you're killing people with your roast beef. There is such a thing as bad publicity.
Arby's was killing people with their roast beef. I don't remember this.
That was like the first. That was
in the roast beef at some point or something. I forget.
It was 30 years ago plus when I was a kid. That was one of the first big fast food E. coli outbreak stories.
Huh.
And Arby's almost went out of business because people were getting E. coli infections across the whole country from their lunch, from the sandwich meat, and they almost didn't exist. They barely recovered. So when we were young, Arby's wasn't really a thing. You probably didn't see Arby's again until you were a teenager. It took them 10 years to come back.
I know
That's
Arby's is
why Arby's
goddamn
gives you the
expensive.
meat sweats.
Like every time I've ever gotten Arby's, like compared to, and I don't get fast food very often, but compared to like McDonald's or Chipotle or whatever I would normally eat, it costs like twice as fucking much. With that being said, though, like have you guys looked up the prices at KFC lately or fucking Taco Bell, like the traditionally like cheapest places you can go get food?
No.
Like there's like a $70 bucket of fucking chicken. At KFC.
Oh, no, I've got an Arby's story. Listen, there's a lot of Arby's and truck stops and Loves and everything. So their breakfast taco burritos were pretty good. Sausage, hash brown, big piece of egg. It was actually a pretty good breakfast taco, right? A lot of meat, and it was like $3. Well, 2 years ago, they went and took their 12-inch tortilla and put it down to an 8-inch tortilla and literally cut in half the amount of meat, hash brown, and egg they put in there, and then bumped the price up 50 cents.
Yeah, everywhere is doing that. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
so like where I work, and I won't name it, for instance, like probably about 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure. They started switching like the brand of hamburger meat to get a cheaper one and the brand of ketchup to get a cheaper one. And like it used to be you'd get like a big ass thing of fucking French fries when you got fries. They started like portioning everything and making sure that, oh, we know exactly how many ounces of potato are in the order of French fries. It's like, bro, just fucking fill the plate till it looks good. You know, like why are we worried about the price of fucking French fries? But then what that does is it decreases the quality. Obviously, you increase the price, which is going to piss people off. And they're going to stop coming to your place. They're going to start cooking at home. They're going to do other things, right? Which is exactly what fucking happened. And like eventually people catch on. And the thing that they did, it was, I forget what it was. There was a study a while back where they were basically saying like, I don't know, they were serving people Walmart food, right? Like here's Walmart cake and Walmart pie and Walmart chicken and Walmart sandwich or whatever. How do you rate it? And everyone's like 3 out of 10. You know, this is fucking bullshit food. It sucks. They took that exact same food and they put it on a nicely set table with fine china and nice plates and like candlelight and the exact same food. And they were like, how do you rate this food? And everyone's like, oh, it's like a 7 or an 8, you know, it's like the same fucking food. So they tried to make us do that. Where like we're polishing a fucking turd and putting it in front of you and being like, how do you like the turd? So it makes me upset.
How many restaurants can you go to now to get a chicken fried steak that wasn't frozen?
Not many.
Almost none, because they're all being used by the same company. And that's the problem with a lot of these places is they all got bought up by private equity groups is what it is. That are
Tyson
BlackRock.
Yeah, you pretty much you have to go to a steakhouse to get a chicken fried steak that wasn't frozen.
Black Eyed Peas. Black Eyed Peas still has it. I don't know if you guys have those or not. Not the band. The
I have not seen a Black Eyed Pea in 15 years of truck driving. Where the hell are they still out there?
I know there's a couple in Fort Worth.
There's 2 in Colorado that I know of. There used to be a bunch more, but there's 2 left. I used to work at a Black Eyed Pea back in the day.
There used to be one around Dallas. I don't know if it's still there or not.
I kind of think I might have seen one 15 years ago in Tennessee or something. It's like niggling at the back of my brain. That's been a while.
Sup, Calhoun?
Howdy. I was just asking, has anyone had a McChicken lately and noticed how small they've gotten?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Diminutive chicken.
Yeah, I went up there a couple weeks ago. I hadn't had it. You know, I checked out the value menu because I don't eat at McDonald's much, but I went in there and it's on the value menu or whatever for like $5 or whatever. So I got it and it was like, I'm like, God, this thing got tiny. And I went back a couple of weeks later and got a McDouble. They hadn't shrank, at least not noticeably since. But the McChicken is tiny now.
Yeah,
the same thing.
The hash brown's the same size, but they want $250 for it.
So Calhoun, apparently today is story day. Do you have any crazy stories that have happened recently that you can share with the class? I'm putting you on the spot. You didn't know that it was story day.
The McChicken story, I guess. I don't know. Nothing interesting has happened lately.
God damn it, you fail. I'm just kidding.
So who had the best story so far, Honda?
I mean, obviously Corey's story. Fucking, I think you saved a baby's life this morning. So I think you're asking that because you know who's winning. So
Where do you guys stand on Lindsey Graham's recent death?
bro, that shit's crazy. He had a
He died?
aortic fucking tear, if I remember correctly. Like his
It was the
fucking
same thing
aorta
that happened
just
to John Ritter.
it just split open like a fucking,
Aortic dissection.
Yeah, it was a Widowmaker.
I didn't know that could happen.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that's how his dad died.
Yeah, and there's no way to like save somebody, even if he was in the hospital and that happened with his chest open. I don't think he could have been saved.
Well,
You can save people with aortic dissections,
Yeah.
but not there's a difference between like a tear and then the whole thing just disintegrates.
Unzipping.
Yeah, that shit's so paper thin though, sewing it back together is almost impossible.
Yeah, it just depends on it can happen where you can be saved, but
Oh,
yeah,
no,
those kind of things,
I'm-
it's just
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, but his age and everything, no. Yeah, I don't
No.
think even if he was in the hospital, I don't think they could have saved him. And a
How's
full
Mitch
aortic
McConnell?
dissension, that shit's paper thin.
So I've told this story before. My dad had a heart attack a couple years back while he was still alive. And they go in to do surgery. They did a stint. They put a stint in his heart to hold the valve open or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor. And so they did the EKG and they're like, something is weird here. I don't know. Let's just go in and figure it out. They go in there and what they found was his valve was 100% clogged and had been for years. It wasn't anything recent. That thing was fucking calcified, right? And his body grew a new one next to it, rerouted the blood through the new valve, and the new valve, the mutant valve, became clogged. And that was the one that they had to put the stent in to hold open. And I guess this happens on occasion, but
Yeah, your body.
It's not a valve, but yeah, my dad did the same thing. Except he didn't grow a new one. He just had it.
well, yeah,
So it's same thing as your dad. He had a heart attack and didn't even know it happened. Just had a headache for a couple of days, right after an airplane flight.
that's like
and
some
so he
Wolverine
did.
shit, bro.
He didn't know about it until he had a second heart attack. So he didn't grow a new artery, but he is a bit of a mutant, and he had a whole extra set of arteries on his heart. So when the main one that everybody has got blocked, the second one didn't get blocked and was able to handle the load. So he didn't grow a new one. He'd always had it. But
That's
fun thing, when you've got this mutation, you also usually have extra nerves in your teeth. So the doctors miss roots during your root canals. And I had that happen on one of mine a couple of years ago now.
Oh shit.
So I guess I got the same mutant blood, I guess.
I wonder, okay, so when I go to the dentist, they have like two different kinds of Novocaine, right? They've got like the normal Novocaine that they would give to normal people and they could do drilling and stuff and the normal people would be fine. And then they've got like super Novocaine, like condensed Novocaine or something that they give you if you have like sensitive teeth or extra nerve endings, or I'm not sure what it is, but they shoot me up with that shit and they start drilling and I'm like, no. Do it again. And they got to like stick that shit into my fucking tooth, like down into the fucking root of the tooth and like I can taste it. It's like leaking out of the fucking hole that they made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then it's like, man, I can still feel that, but it's as good as it's going to get. So just fucking work quickly.
I'm the same way. They had to give me extra Novocaine or extra anesthesia, whatever you want to call it, for any procedure because I'm a redhead and I got that mutated gene that requires us to have more.
Apparently we were just on a mutant chat right now. Hey, by the way, speaking of mutants, fucking the Yankee Marshal banned me off of his channel because he's a retard. He's a fucking retard, and I don't like him anymore. Because I went there to just be like, oh, what are you guys doing? Let me comment on your thing. He's like, oh, well, obviously you're an imposter. And so then I went onto my backup channel, which is named E Honda something else, and he's like, "Oh, we got all these imposter Hondas tonight." So I have 3 channels. He banned all 3 of them.
Damn.
And I wasn't even like fuck you, or I wasn't saying names. I wasn't like causing a problem. I was just talking to people. And I have all 3 of my channels banned. So if anyone wants to tell Yankee that he's a fucking retard and to unban me, I guess maybe skip the first part if you're going to ask that.
It doesn't sound like a big loss to me. I haven't watched him in a long time.
I like farming him for content. I like hearing what he has to say so I can be like, oh, this is what the liberal fucking people are talking about. But if I can't comment on it, I don't want to fucking be there. So
if you ever get him to talk about me, let me know. It'd be hilarious to think what Yankee Marshall thinks of a guy who walks around with a suppressor in front of the cops.
Oh, I guarantee he'd fucking have something negative to say.
Troublemaker over here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good.
I just know, like, no matter what happens in the future, I will never have another debate with that guy. He will not be on my channel. I will not be on his channel. We will not be on Never Enough Ammo's channel. If he's there and wants to disagree with me, I will leave and make a video later about what I disagree with him about so that he can respond to it in video format. Just because the way that he argues is so impossible to actually make your point that it's pointless, right?
Yeah,
like if I'm having something that I want to say, and every time I get 3 syllables into my sentence, you interrupt me and fucking say a bunch of bullshit, and then now I have to respond to the bullshit that you said. And as I'm responding to the bullshit you said, you interrupt me and say some other bullshit. And so now I'm responding to that versus the original point that I was going to make. I forget what it even was. So what's the fucking point? What's that?
That or he meets you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was what he did when I was on his channel, which is why we did it on Never Enough Ammo's channel, because I thought he was actually going to moderate the debate, but he just sat there like a fucking retarded bump on a log and didn't actually like be like, okay, let Honda talk, or now it's your turn to talk. Like, if you're going to have a debate, it should be like a formatted debate where it's like, I get 2 minutes, you get 2 minutes. I get 2 minutes, you get 2 minutes. You start talking over me, the fucking moderator tells you to shut the fuck up. Because that's the way it should be, but it's not like that, and it never will be. And again, it's not about substance when you're debating with people who are on the left. It seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it's never about substance. It's always about tactics. It's never about substance. It's always about like optics or how things, you know what I mean? Like they're not actually going to make a point, because if you start arguing about the actual merits of a point or bringing up facts about a situation, that they're going to lose. So they pound the table. They don't pound the facts because the facts are against them.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's not always true. I'm sure there's got to be some exceptions to that rule, but it's a fucking rule. That's why it's a rule, because there are exceptions. I'm a ginger with upper wisdom teeth at 44, no lowers. Half my dad's family doesn't have lower wisdom teeth, but they go to the dentist. I can verify for myself, but they don't go to the dentist. Oh, they do go to the dentist.
He's a witch.
I had all 4 of mine pulled out when I was 15 years old because they all came in like horse teeth.
I had all 4 of mine pulled out when I was like 28, 29, something like that. Only because
20.
2 of them. One was kind of broken and rotten for some reason. My family, there's bad gums and teeth that run in my family, the gene. I don't know why it is. But and another one just started. So they were like, oh, we'll pull those 2 out and come back later and do the other 2. And I'm like, no, do them all now. And that's how I found out that they have to give me extra Novocaine and shit, because they kept pumping fucking shit into my gums, over and over and over. And they're like, we can't give you no more. And I still felt every fucking thing they did. So I'm kind of like drunk and my eyes are closed and like I'm fucked up, but I felt everything, man. It sucked.
Bro, when they were pulling out my bottom right one of the fucking roots was like a hook, and when they pulled it out, it hooked the nerve and severed it.
Oh,
and
shit.
So the nerve goes to the front of your mouth, so like this whole part of my mouth for like 6 months had no feeling at all. And then one day it started itching real bad, and I wanted to like itch my face, but I couldn't. There was like an itch you can't scratch. Yeah. And then eventually it got normal again.
Yeah. Did they have to put their D on your chest? Because they did that to me.
No, but it sounded like a tree. like a tree falling over. Because what they gotta do, what they do is they fucking go in there with pliers basically,
And they crunch them.
and they crunch your tooth, and then they pull out the pieces.
Yeah.
Because it's too
That's
big to fucking.
Only
yeah,
thing
but
I
that-
remember is one of the 4 is the crunch. That's the only thing I remember from mine.
It
Yeah.
sounded like a fucking tree breaking, like a tree
Yeah.
all
falling over.
mine grew in too. All my
No,
wisdom teeth grew
the-
in fine.
The two
What's that?
healthy ones they just pulled out. The other 2 they crunched because they were already kind of broken anyways.
What'd you say there, Mr. Zerati?
All of mine grew in just fine. I had a period of time in my life where I might have done some accessory drugs, and those drugs caused some of my teeth to fall out. And some of those teeth that fell out were my wisdom teeth because they were the furthest back, and that's where the calcium deficiency hit the strongest. So I had mine crunched out. Fortunately, I didn't have no nerve hooks because I've seen people who have had the nerve hooks and then they could never use like the bottom part of their jaw or the top part of their jaw again because they fucked it up so bad with accessory drugs, I'd like to call them. Anyway, that's my story. That's kind of fun.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
None of my wisdom teeth ever grew in. I mean, I got them, but they're all under the skin. They say they might start rotting under the skin, and so one dentist kind of wanted to take them out, but I was like, if they start rotting, I'll know about it. You know, I had that happen
Yeah.
to somebody, my
That's so
cousin
fun.
of mine.
Abscess is nasty. It stinks and it tastes gross. It makes your stomach hurt if you swallow it.
Sweet.
So if any of the viewers want to not have nightmares remembering all the shit that's happened at the dentist to them, go to the HBO Matt Blatantly Armed channel and watch my video on 2 asshole cops saying they're going to pull a Porky's and arrest anybody who protests in their town.
Me subtly regretting asking Z what he was talking about. Oh my god, bro, I didn't need to hear that shit. So we're almost an hour into this chat about the Iran war.
We haven't
and
talked
we have
about
not
it.
fucking mentioned.
Yeah, right. It's been story time.
I will say before we get into Iran, my lawyer's Brandon Grable. He started a lawyer channel, clearly established like last year, and it's gotten really hot. So I've got the phone call up. He's got the depositions. It's like 6 or 7 hours total between all 5 cops. If you guys want to go watch that.
Word.
Do you do a lot of that up here around the DFW area?
Not lately, but now I am. I was like, not. Okay, yes, lately. Before, not so much. Now, Dallas has a special little place in my heart.
Well, I was gonna say, man, I'd be interested and willing to go with you on one. I'm up here around the DFW area.
Yeah, I grew up in Fort Worth.
I'm just south of Fort Worth.
So
Otto the Watchdog was down there in
the
Midlothian.
Iran war,
And yesterday I hit Italy.
fuck.
Go for it.
Oh, can I now? Okay, cool.
This is not your channel.
So Iran has been shooting missiles at basically Qatar, Kuwait, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, the Strait of Hormuz. I think there's 4 or 5 different countries they've just shot rockets at recently within the last week.
Bam.
And someone online on Facebook, and I'm not going to dox this person because they are actually technically one of my friends, even though the more shit like this they say, the less of my friend they're going to be, said, "Let me guess, Honda, 5D chest, genius move from the genius deal maker. How about before they issue our lamest of talking points for you all to repeat," which is what he thinks, that people just like hear what Fox News says and we're just going to repeat it now because we don't think for ourselves. "Let's hear your defense now. What happened to the memorandum of understanding? I understood it to be rubbish. U.S. to take Strait of Hormuz, charge 20% fee for cargo ships to get through." Trump says, Politico. And all I said to him, and I stand by this point, was, would you rather Iran have some nukes? And when you look at stories like this from Krasenstein, who, by the way, is a crazy leftist who's very inflammatory and says whatever he can to stir the pot. He's not a fucking genuine actor. He's a disingenuous fucking media personality, just like all of them. Just like fucking all of them, right? And these are the people that people like that guy fucking listen to about what's going on in the world. So when they hear stuff like Krasenstein talking about stuff like this, they repeat what they say, and they're like, oh, you guys are the repeaters, you're in the cult, while they're fucking exhibiting cult-like behavior. But what do you guys think, with all of the things that Iran has been up to in the past couple of weeks, that they would have done if they had a nuke? Do you think that the world would be a safer place if they had nukes, or would it be less safe if they have nukes?
Iran having nukes, they would have used it offensively the first chance they got. We would never be talking about defensive use.
Yeah.
And moreover, if Trump had not gone in and bombed the fucking ever-living shit out of Iran, in my opinion, and you guys can feel free to disagree, if he had not done that, then they would have done that, in my opinion. Right now, Israel, or at least Jerusalem, would be in rubble. There would be millions of people dead, just like they killed, it was like 55,000 of their own people because they were protesting. They don't give a fuck, dude. They're like the most tyrannical Islamic terrorist regime on the planet. They fund Hamas, they fund Hezbollah, they fund the Houthis, they fund all of these people around the world that directly target other people who are not Islamic terrorists with terrorism by funding them. They sell fucking they sell drones to Russia to bomb fucking Kiev with, right? Like they're like one of the worst fucking countries that exists, and they were about to get nukes. Like it's very tough to get the fissile material to make nukes, right? Like for instance, deuterium, heavy water. How do you get heavy water? Well, you got to take, like, heavy water it's like a isotope of hydrogen. It's an unstable hydrogen molecule that you can then bombard with neutrons or whatever and make it split, and you can have a hydrogen bomb. That's what a hydrogen bomb is deuterium.
Right. In
order to get deuterium, you have to do electrolysis on water. Deuterium in regular water, like the amount of hydrogen that's deuterium is like 0.001% or something, right?
Yep.
Which means to get it to 1%, you got to take 1,000 gallons of water and then get it to 1 gallon through electrolysis, where you split the hydrogen off, because the deuterium bond to oxygen is stronger than just the regular hydrogen bond to oxygen. So when you do electrolysis and you split the hydrogen and oxygen into two, the deuterium stays behind, the oxygen and hydrogen get split. So the more of that, you have to like really fucking take a really long time, like millions and millions and millions of gallons of water to get to like 1 gallon of pure fucking deuterium water, like heavy water. And they had thousands of gallons of this shit. They had a whole bunch of it. They had refined uranium, they had plutonium, they had all of the things, fissile materials that they needed to make nukes. And we know that
they also used deuterium to boost fission bombs.
Fair enough. But point being, we bombed the fuck out of them. They don't have a nuclear program anymore, at least not a functioning one. And if we had not, they would have had nukes by now. And some people will say that's like Israeli talking point, that I'm just repeating the fucking, and I don't think so. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Like, I'm not fucking privy to information that anyone else doesn't have. But I think Trump is, and he made the decision. And frankly, that's why I voted for him, is because I trust him to make those kinds of decisions. And again, a lot of people out there would disagree with that, but the proof is in the pudding. But it's also impossible to prove, because you can't prove something that didn't happen. Like them bombing Iran and stopping them from having a nuclear program stopped them from ever even having the option to drop a nuke. So we can't determine whether or not they would have dropped a nuke on somebody and where things would be currently.
When we should have bombed Iran?
1997. I don't know.
Background Kobar Towers time. Yeah,
like a long time ago.
Yeah, barracks bombing. Yeah, back then.
79.
Yeah, I mean
that might have been a little premature, but they had our hostages.
When did the Ayatollah take over? It was like 79, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like around then.
Yeah, they took the hostages right after they took him. Yeah.
Well, and that's like a lesson to everybody about what happens when your country gets to a certain critical mass of Muslims. Because like when there's like 1 or 2%, it's like, oh, they're the nicest people in the world. They're like super cool and super chill. And, like we could use more of these people, frankly. It's awesome. When they get to like 20%, It's like, well, they're a problem and they keep voting as a block and they've taken over this city and that city, but that's a problem for fucking Michigan and whatever. It doesn't matter for us, right? But then once they get to that like 50% and they are actually able to take power within a country and start implementing Sharia law and doing all the things that they want to do because they're Muslims, look at Iran. They were a free and democratic people that had rights for women and colleges, and they were basically the Persian jewel of the Middle East. And they got taken over by Islam when they got to about 50% Islam in the country. And they then forced it on the other half of the country by threat of death, basically. And now they're just a Muslim terrorist fucking organization as far as I'm concerned. I mean, like, at least they fund Muslim terrorism around the globe. At least they did before we fucking sanctioned them and stopped them from being able to produce oil and bomb them into fucking the third world again.
Well, the way the Trump fucked up the most, this whole thing, it was if he was going to go in at all, he waited too long. He let those 50,000 protesters get massacred, just like the last 3 presidents did, where we support Iran, we support the protesters, and Iran massacres the protesters, and we don't do jack shit. And all the protesters thought this time America's going to save us. Trump did the same thing. So now that we've bombed the shit out of Iran, destroyed the government, destroyed the military and most of the IRGC and the local police, all the people who are willing to still fight and take over the last little bits of it that would have killed them, they're already dead. So there's nobody there to do it anymore.
Well, not only that, but like, think about this. Tiananmen Square, 1989 or whatever that was. I'm not sure what year. How many people were killed by the Chinese communist government at the time because they were protesting? And the answer, and this is still a fucking widely held fucking atrocity that people are like pissed about China about, that years later they talk about, and there's like the kid standing in front of the tank and all of the different imagery that happened and all that stuff, right? 10,000 people was how many they killed. 10,000, which is a lot. That's a lot of fucking protesters to kill, especially when you look at like America with like the incidental killing, and you can disagree with that if you like to, of Renee Good and whatever that other dude's name was. And I guess there was another one in Maine recently. And all of these situations in America, it's like, well, the guy was in a car and he tried to run over an officer, or at least he made the officer fear for his life and thought that he was going to get run over. So like, that there's a difference between an incidental killing and intentionally targeting people like they were in Iran. They killed 56,000 people, I think is the official number. And what they would do is after you're dead in the street, they would collect your body. They would go to your family and they would say, hey, we've got your father's corpse. If you want it back, we're going to charge you for every bullet that we put in him. He was shot 10 times. We're charging you $300 per bullet. You owe us $3,000 if you want your dead dad's body back. Oh, you don't have $3,000? Guess what? You'll never see his body. We don't give a fuck. 56,000 people who were fighting. And you're right. Trump did take too long. They did act too slowly to save those people who would have fought against the government, who would have done things that they could have. But even today, they've got snipers on roofs. They have very much control over people. So even if people would like to fight back, which I think that they would. And there was also a story recently about the whatever river it is in the main city there. And I'm very fucking vague on these details. A bunch of people were throwing their Qurans into the river because they don't fucking want Muslims. They don't want to be Islam. They don't fucking care about this shit. They want to go back to the Zoroastrianism or whatever it was that, they actually believe in, that the majority of the country was before Islam came in and poisoned everything. And they're throwing their fucking Qurans in the river because there's still people who believe in this. And think about this too. Like, let's say your father was on the street protesting against the Islamic regime in Iran, and then they shot him to death and charged you per bullet. I think they just made a whole new generation of people who fucking hate them. And I think that there is still the possibility, if you destroy the IRGC to the point where they don't have power anymore in that country, and at the same time, I don't know, like do what they did during World War II and drop a bunch of liberators everywhere, you know, like fucking give the fucking local people the ability to fight back. Maybe they could have their own country again. Maybe they could get rid of that Islamic regime that's been terrorizing them for fucking 45, 50 years. I don't know.
I don't trust us to do that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, what's the other option?
Set it up themselves.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, how many times like we fucked the Kurds over, saying we're going to support them, and then letting them get fucked over, and now I said the protesters, we let them get mad. Trump too. He's let the Kurds still get fucked up.
Yeah.
Every president's done it. Nobody trusts us to have their back anymore.
Maybe
Part of the problem is Turkey. Turkey is a NATO member, and they're not doing good with the Kurds right now.
Yeah.
But the Kurds in the Turkish area a lot of them are basically communists, from my understanding.
Well, it's also funny to me how many people are upset about fucking Gaza and Israel and how it's a genocide what they're doing to the Gazans, and how Israel's, you know, doing this asymmetric warfare against a third world people who are just trying to live, and have nothing to say about anything going on in Africa. Like, how many countries in Africa right now are fucking, I forget what it was. Was it the Congo or Zimbabwe?
Senegal now or something, I think.
Yeah, Senegal too. There's all of these countries in Africa that are like tens of thousands, millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people. Christians too, by the way, are being murdered by Muslims with machetes, with sticks, like in the worst ways possible, in the most brutal
mass
ways.
Graves and burn pits full of bodies.
And because it's not in, you know, Israel doing it, no one gives a fuck, because basically they've received their marching orders from the top that say, like, here's the thing that you should care about. Here's what you should be upset about. And like, they've listened and been like, okay. And Mr. Zarati, I don't know what's going on with your shit. Right
the mic going on and off. You can
It's because
well, it's weird. Like your I don't know. From my perspective, your shit looks weird, and I don't know why, but it's okay.
It looks weird. It looks weird.
Like everyone else is a solid color, and you're like opaque.
What, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I can't see myself.
I can see you.
It would be a little disturbing if you could see yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you
It's
got a
fine.
third eye or
I don't know what's
something.
going on. I can hear you, so that's the point. That's I guess, the thing that matters.
That made me think of that scene in Bad Boys 2 where they go to the captain trying to get the warrant to go into the mortuary, and Martin Lawrence is high on X, and he's Will tells him, "Look at yourself," and he's like, "How am I going to look at myself?" I mean, making that face.
So here's the IRGC rockets raining down upon Qatar, or is this? Yeah, is Qatar? Is it Qatar or Qatar? I always said Qatar.
Either way.
Qatar.
They pronounce it different than either of those.
Yeah, I've always heard Qatar.
And is it Kiev, as I have heard
Kyiv.
for my entire life?
I've heard Kiev
Or
all
is
my
it
life too.
Kyiv? Because it's Kyiv now.
Kyiv, yes.
Slava Ukraini.
I think
Anyway,
I just say Kiev.
Kiev was the Russian.
Let's
name
talk
for
about
it.
Russia falling apart. That's fun.
well, that's
Your
a scary
China
one.
told Russia to get fucked today.
That's a
Really?
scary one, because Russia's got basically almost as many nukes as we have. They might be a bit outdated. Their technology might be a little old, but they've got intercontinental ballistic missiles with bombs that are just as big, if not bigger, than anything we have.
Lovely.
And
China today told Putin, get fucked. We're not bailing you out, and we're going to start talking to the people who are going to replace you and making deals with them.
Wow.
Which is who?
They don't know yet, so
Other
they're talking
people
to a
in
bunch
Russia?
of people.
Oh, wow.
You talking about?
They're
other
pretty
people
much-
in Russia
they're-
or other countries.
Other people in Russia, they're talking to
Oh.
everybody who they think might replace Putin. They're talking to them now about what kind of deals they might make in the future.
Oh, that man's
Well,
going to
might get
die
worse.
in office. Which
We
we
could
thought,
always
what
get
was
somebody
it, a
worse.
couple years ago that people thought Putin died because he was like missing for a good while? And people were speculating he died of a heart attack or something.
I think they thought that he had cancer or something, which he might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something because he was missing for a good while, and people thought he was dead.
He's probably just getting a facelift and had complications that made him
Oh
look
yeah.
weird.
And
Or
everybody-
out there riding a bear.
the 20% tax thing Trump tried to do, he got called out on it. And he already backed off of it because it was the stupidest fucking thing he's probably said in this war so far.
No, it makes sense because if we're going to protect the thing, we need to be
No,
reimbursed.
It makes
for
no sense. The whole entire reason we're doing it is because Iran said they should get a tax for doing
Yeah, but
security, and it's
rest of
international
the-
waters. And the whole reason we're fighting over this is that you don't ever tax somebody for going through international waters. That's how international law works. So if we started
Yeah.
taxing people for going through international waters, we just destroyed the entire system of freedom of navigation in one day. So he
Well,
backed
would-
off.
war
hold
going
on.
on.
Wouldn't the IRGC be the ones who destroyed that because they are literally bombing ships that are trying to cross international waters because that's the only thing that they can reach?
No, I'm just saying that the entire system, not just this one conflict. If anybody for
but
any
that's
reason
what
ever
caused-
gets
hold on,
to legitimize taxing
hold
it.
on. That's what fucking Trump is charging. Well, was going to charge people for. It wasn't because like, oh, you're going to go through our strait. It's like, no, you're going through the Strait of Hormuz, which is under attack by this terrorist nation, and we need to protect you in order for you to do that. It's not that like we're just charging for international waters. It's that there's this terrible fucking country there that's going to bomb you and destroy everything that you have if you try to go through there. And we're going to
Which
insure
is-
your fucking property.
Yeah,
It's
same
like
difference,
insurance.
dude.
There's a
No,
huge
because
difference.
they pay insurance.
Yeah, that's
They pay
also called
insurance, and the
racketeering by
insurance
the
companies-
mafia.
But the insurance
called a
companies
protection
aren't
racket.
Well,
insuring
the
them.
mafia would be the ones who were like, "We'll blow up your ship if you don't pay us." That'd be like Iran charging 20% for
Yes,
not bombing
and
them.
80 years from now, when we're still charging the tax and Iran doesn't exist anymore, it'll be a protection
I would
racket.
agree with you, but as of right now, I
Yeah.
don't. So
Yeah, I would say it's
Also-
why you don't let anybody ever do it to start with, because that's where it'll end up.
fair enough.
Mission-
Also, the rest of NATO and the international community outside of the direct region aren't stepping up to help patrol the waters either. So the entire burden is being foisted upon the American taxpayer.
But I mean, we did start it, so
Again, though, like,
I'm
it gets
bitching.
started.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah,
what
no,
would
I'm
happen-
bitching at NATO for not helping out enough. They should be pitching in, but I'm not gonna base
They,
my
they
whole
don't have the
argument over the
capability.
whole
Like
thing
even
on
if we were
that.
like, "Hey, help us out," like what would they be able to do? Like, they don't have the ships. They don't have the
Yeah,
capabilities.
they got like a dozen ships.
yeah, they don't have the ability to
could
do
send
shit,
those.
dude.
Anything's better than nothing.
Like the United States military has more fucking materiel and ships and bombs and planes than the entire European Union combined.
The
That's very
reason-
You have to
true.
remember though, they didn't
The ma-
even allow us to use NATO bases in some of these countries to ship our stuff through, our planes
Damn.
through. Which they're basically our bases. Let's be honest about the situation. You basically are NATO.
Jesus, dude.
Well,
Damn,
yeah, and
that's
that's
what
Oh,
say.
I was looking for that. clip.
ooh.
I thought I saved it on Instagram. I didn't.
That's fucking gnarly,
Holy fuck, bro. Can you imagine
Yeah.
being on the first floor and being like, what just happened?
right? Is that like a bunker buster they dropped on that fucking building?
I think it's probably a Pan orgasm.
Holy fuck, dude.
Could you imagine being over there right now in literally a war zone as a civilian?
Can you imagine this happening here?
That's basically what I'm saying.
I could.
It's
And that's
probably
why we need to
coming
go
to
to
a
Islam
neighborhood
now.
near you very soon. Speaking of which, Matt, since you're up here in Dallas a lot, have you heard about that fucking 400-acre
Tyler?
Coon fucking Muslim city that they're trying to build outside of Dallas?
Yeah.
Did you hear a judge here in Texas said that they have to allow them to go through with building it?
hmm I've been paying close attention to it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's fucking bullshit. They're basically gonna, for now,
It's
allow them
Minneapolis
to start
all
going through.
over again.
And it's a
There's
400
another
acre-
one down in I think it was around Houston, somewhere down in South Texas. Same thing.
That's so fucking stupid.
There's more than one of them.
Yeah, I'm saying this one
What
up here
the-
called the Meadows it's for Muslims only. Like no one else is allowed in there.
Yeah.
Why do they? I got to be careful what I'm going to say. Why is it encouraged and allowed that every single ethnic or religious group can have their own private thing where they gather together and exclude everyone else?
It's fucking kowtowing to their bullshit.
But certain other groups aren't allowed to, and that is like literally
imagine if
Hitler.
white Christians
I'll
did
just
that.
straight up say it. It's an anti-white thing at this point. We used to
Yeah, that's
control
what I said.
90% of this fucking world, and now we're like 8% of the population of worldwide.
What if
You've got
a big group of us, white Christians, wanted to do a 400-acre, white Christian only area? That would fucking raise some big stink. But yet someone else, other.
You've got a big chunk of politicians and ideological groups that want to do everything they can to destroy in America. So they're going to do everything they can to encourage things that break up our culture and freedom and just turn the whole country upside down so that when it falls apart, they can pick up the pieces and be the ones in charge. So they'll use whatever tool that comes to hand to do that.
The Meadows is nothing but gonna be a big fucking terror spot, in my opinion, from homegrowns, basically, because they're allowing all this shit instead of standing up for us, American citizens and protecting us like they should. They're allowing these fucking American hating commies basically take another foothold, I should say, in the United States. And I cannot believe Texas is allowing this shit to go down. That's the one state I figured be the last to kowtow to these motherfuckers. I didn't know there was
I'll say it this way, guys. I'm a constitutionalist, so if it's good to go into the Constitution, I'm all for it. But the way you stop this kind of stuff is to not allow mass illegal immigration to the point where everybody comes over unassimilated, and then you just naturally don't get stuff like this. So yes, you get little China, but you don't get little China-stan. So you get little China when you let people immigrate at a steady pace and adapt and still want to maintain some of their own culture and grow up with neighbors they can talk with, but you get little China-stan when you let them come over in the millions.
Yeah, exactly.
With no checks.
Well, this was the big problem that we've had since the Immigration Act of '65 with the Hart-Celler Act, is because before that, when we went to white European countries only for immigration, we actually had downtimes of assimilation. We have never had downtime since 1965 in this country. It has been 60 plus years of constantly bringing in millions and millions and millions of people every fucking year that refuse to assimilate. That'll strip tell you to your face, I'm just here to invade. And this is the problem. These are the people who need to kick the fuck out permanently, and we need to have a complete 1,000-year ban on all immigration in this country. End of story.
At least be put on a list to never be allowed to come back ever again.
We don't allow immigration at all. We'll age out like Japan is and just become a nothing burger.
Not if we encourage people to actually have families again. And that's the thing. That's why you're not
that's not going to happen
families anymore.
We're in the downward spiral, dude. We're not coming back up.
So
it's at this point, you should be planning on how you survive the downfall and rebuild, not how do you fix it. I go out and record and do all this stuff because I'm fighting the rearguard action and I want it to be documented so the next generation can try to figure out how to do it better and not make the same mistakes. I've got no belief that America is going to come out of this spiral intact.
Exactly. I think you're right. Yeah.
Wow.
Jacob out in the comments said that he about spit up his
talk.
water.
Shut the fuck up. Let Z talk. He's tried like 15 fucking times and you guys just keep fucking talking over him.
I didn't hear him. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't speak very loud. I'm just saying, like, that's just a really depressing place to be. Like, I mean, there are people like us, me, and I assume you guys too. I don't want to be an ass, but in reality, like, yeah, we don't really have a lot to live for. I don't have any kids. I don't have anything like I'm bringing into the world. But for somebody like Honda, I mean, he's got 2 kids and he wants to leave the world a better place. And so he's trying to fight to, like, get this world to where it needs to be. And we're all sitting on the edge of a cliff, like waiting to die on ourselves, and we're embarrassing ourselves, really. Like, we need to fight from the inside out, being bipartisan or not, and just kind of figure out a way to make this better for our kids and for our next generation. It's not over for America. We just crossed 250, bro. We're good. We're good.
I do what I can to, because I have kids too, or a kid rather.
Fine.
And
Go get it.
I mean, it's hard to do that when there's so much just knocking it down and it just being allowed. It makes you hard to see the, quote unquote light at the end of the tunnel, that things are actually going to, be awesome again.
Well, we have so many gaslighters and so many people who are just like spreading misinformation and disinformation because they literally get paid for it. Like, look at what's going on with the Charlie Kirk assassination trial and everything going on there. Like, how many Candace Owens of the world are there right now making $1 by fucking repeating bullshit that they know is not true because they know it's going to get clicks? And then also on top of that, you have so many people in this country who are functional idiots who think that they're informed, but they're not, who have very strong opinions about things that they actually don't know anything about. And they're willing to get violent and get in your face. And then, like, again, going back to the Christian coffee place, right? You had on Saturday and Sunday all of these protesters there who were standing outside the coffee place saying this and that, playing music off key, thinking that they were in the majority. And then I show up there on a Tuesday and there's a line out the door of Christian people who were just there to support that business because they know that they're under attack. We are the silent majority because we know that if you go on Facebook and you say something that you believe in, that there's going to be fucking 15 people that are going to come at you in 12 different ways and fucking try to discredit you or make you angry or gaslight you or rage bait you or whatever the case is, in order to discredit you because they don't believe the same thing as you do. While meanwhile, there are probably 150 people who totally agree with you, but won't speak up because they don't want to be the target of that. Like, it's blatantly obvious what's going on. And moreover, one more point. I think that this is a spiritual warfare that's happening. This is coming from Satan. This is coming from Lucifer. This is coming from the devil. This is coming from whatever fucking evil you might believe or not believe in that is out there, that is affecting things, that is changing the world in a way that's going to bring us towards cataclysm. And that's it.
This is what I've been saying for a while too. The problem with that as well is you also have all these companies that will sit there and, God forbid you say the wrong thing, they'll either ban your account for a week or a month or whatever it is then. And so you have no voice at all online anymore is what it is.
Okay, well, I'll simplify it for you guys. I don't know how America is going to end. I don't know if it's going to be a culture war. I don't know if it's going to be World War III. I don't know if it's going to be idiocracy. What I do know is that we've got 30 or 40 trillion dollars in real debt and another 140 trillion dollars in obligated debt, and you can't survive that. So if idiocracy doesn't get us first, us running out of money will. So it doesn't. America one will not survive the next couple of decades. How bad it is, how many people die, how we recover, if we're able to stay America as one piece but remade, I don't know. I just know that your grandkids are not going to live in United States of America.
Well, it's the Hegelian
dialectic. Be
dialectic.
living in something different.
It's the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. They've created the problem of massive debt. It's mathematically inevitable that that debt is going to lead to collapse. We're going to have hyperinflation, which means that there's the problem. And they're going to come in with a solution to the problem that no one would have accepted under any other circumstance.
Abolish money.
What's that?
Abolish money.
Well, yeah, it's going to be basically like give up your freedoms, give up your rights, give up your right
You'll own
to
nothing
have
and like
life in the future in order for us to protect you now, because things are so bad now. You're going to starve to death. Your kids are going to die. So give up everything that you have. Every freedom that you might have enjoyed in the past is now null and void because we want to implement this new system. So problem, reaction, solution, right?
That's the Hegelian dialectic, and that's exactly what's been going on. And who's doing it? Some people would say the Jews, right? There's a lot of people out there saying that right now. And to some extent, on some level, they're not incorrect. But you have to say which Jews. And there's a specific family of Jews called the Rothschild family, who have been in power, who've been running the banking system internationally since Napoleon, and have not given up any power. You think Elon Musk is the richest man in the world? No. The richest people in the world are all part of this group that are so rich that we don't even know their names. We don't even know specifically who they are. I mean, maybe like the head Rothschild guy, we know him, right? What's his name? I forget. I don't even know his name.
The way they did things is pretty incredible, but yeah.
But it's not the Jews. It's that there are these people, and it's not just the Jews either. It's not just the family of Rothschilds, because they have co-conspirators. They've got people like fucking God, fucking names are escaping me right now. They got me. But they have non-Jewish people who are collaborating with them in order to make money, in order to gain power and such and such. And like they're working together, so they give credence to that view, which is tantamount to Nazism, right? You give that to like the first order thinkers, and they hear that the Jews are behind this, and so they go out on the streets and they start looking for kids with funny hats, and that's how fucking World War II kicked off in a way, like that's how a lot of that ideology kicked off, is because like Hitler and the Nazis and post World War I Germany were under such sanctions from other countries to pay back debts that they shouldn't have owed in the first place, that their people were oppressed, and no matter how hard they worked, they were still behind. And they basically industrially fucking rebuilt Europe after World War I, because they had to pay for everything. So what's up, Daniel? They fucking had all of the industry in their country, and they had eventually decided, like, fuck you, this is ours, we're going to build it for ourselves, do something about it, and then invaded Poland and did all the rest of the things that they did. Daniel dropped in $5. Thank you, sir. Constitutionalism will be our downfall. Other side doesn't play by the rules. And that's again, I think that's that Luciferian fucking intellect that, whether you believe it in or not, is deceitful and misguided and gaslighting and rage baiting, all of the things that you see coming from the left and from the media and from the people in power that want to distract you from what actually matters. That's the playbook. It's fucking Rules for Radicals by
Saul
Thank
Alinsky. Thank you.
You want to attack the Constitution? I'm going to make you give me a better system first. Tell me something better.
And that's the thing that these people on the left, I think, they're really messing up on. It's like, yeah, you're poking holes in the system. You're pointing at all these things that aren't working. You're showing all of these ways that things are going down, which you have a point about, right? But you don't have a fucking method of fixing it. You don't have an alternative that's better. You don't have anything really. So you're just like, we're going to tear down the system. We're going to tear down this house. Okay, cool. Then what? I guess we live on the street. Like, you know what I mean? So
I think one way it could fall apart is because when you have one side clearly not playing by the Constitution, and then they get in power and they say, oh, this is you have to follow this because this judge says so, because of the Constitution and all this stuff, and then you can't have that be the thing that ties everything, keeps everything working when you're blatantly going against it. You know what I mean? So
which is why
it doesn't matter anymore.
Which is why when we write Constitution 2 for America 2.0, you say that government officials that violate the Constitution are hanged.
Mm-hmm.
Like they used to be tarred and feathered.
Exactly.
I don't necessarily think the thing that's keeping us from doing that now is not the Constitution itself. It's other bullshit.
It's the fear.
It's got to be a reset. That's why you can't save what we got right now. We have to go through the hard times. We have to have a reset to be able to get into the mindset where we would be willing to enforce constitutional rights and do everything that we need to do to actually have a functioning system again. So
that would be nice.
You have to go through, but you have to go through the hard times first. And I don't know if it's a hard times that we can survive or not. I'm not Nostradamus.
I honestly think personally we are living in the end times, because there's a lot going on that
It's
is
possible.
leading me to believe that. So, but that's my
Holy
own personal
shit.
beliefs. I don't expect y'all to understand
It's-
or agree or anything with that. And I'm not trying to bring up
It's
no
it's
arguments
not
in that.
impossible, but we don't have the Antichrist out there waving his dick at us yet either. So.
Not yet, though. But
Yeah,
it,
that is still going to rise, and that's something I brought up a couple weeks ago. Is that when you look at Islam specifically, their belief system will rise the Antichrist.
Well, hold on. What was it that you were saying like a week or two ago, Zarati, about like how the Jewish beliefs and the Christian beliefs are at odds because Christians believe the Messiah has already come, and that Jewish beliefs are that the Messiah has yet to come. So therefore, when the Messiah comes for the Jews, it will be the Antichrist.
Well, I mean, theoretically, there's a contradiction there in the two books. Yes, the Christian Jesus has come. We have our Lord and Savior. We have our bridge to heaven through Him, and so there we go. And then, if you look at the fact that the Jewish people do not believe that their Messiah has come, then what does that make Jesus? Does that make Jesus the actual Antichrist, or does that mean that that's the Antichrist?
Jesus
Antichrist
Christ.
coming to it's very confusing. I think
not really, but yes, the Jews don't believe Jesus is the Messiah.
Correct.
Even though he is.
Their
but-
Messiah is yet to come. So is that our Antichrist or is that Jesus? Christians have seen Jesus. That's
Well,
hilarious.
maybe the Jewish Messiah would be the second coming of Christ.
I think that if you were to let all people to do what they are to do, so like in the Taoism or the Tao, you would say like let those who are to do. So like people that are in love with the medical profession, they do the medical profession. People that are in love with growing food, grow food. People in love with animals, take care of animals. Like so you kind of just let people flow into their natural rhythm, as opposed to a return of Christ. I don't think it has to be singled on an entity coming. I think it can be a consciousness within the people itself. So we realize that we don't need money anymore. We don't want money. We don't want oppression. So what we decide to do is do what we do for free. And so we take care of the people we need to, and we know that in harmony and through faith, theoretically, everything would come back to us. That would be like fulfilling, healing, and that would be actually like divine, where we become the consciousness of that
Jesus'
Christ.
second coming is not going to be the nice Jesus that we had the first time. It is said that when he comes back, he will have a sword for a tongue, meaning he will cut people down with his words.
But the rapture has to happen first. So the people that are just saved are saved, right?
Yeah, most people think Jesus was, kind and giving and healing, and which he was, but he also had, even God had a vengeful side. He smited Sodom and Gomorrah, and Jesus turned over the table in the tabernacle.
He created all things for himself. Yes, even the wicked for the day.
There was actually multiple exchange tables.
There's something else you guys don't realize. Like when in the New Testament, when Jesus is saying things like, if somebody asks them for your shirt, give them your tunic too. He's basically saying like somebody can ask you for what's yours and you can give them the next best thing too, but you never give them your life. So like there's a certain amount of power there. If somebody punches you, then you turn your cheek and let them punch you again. If they go to punch you again, you defend yourself. Like he's not like people like misconstrue like what he was talking about. He wasn't just getting beat up in the streets. He was
turning your cheek doesn't mean like turn your cheek and let them hit you. That's not what it means.
Correct. Exactly. It means you're turning your cheek and then you're giving them that opportunity before basically you just put them in their place.
And it's like let on still. Just the Christians have Jesus. The little hats keep saying their third temple has to be rebuilt so the Messiah can come back or come, and they have to, or they can start sacrificing again red heifers, which the Antichrist will demand. And actually, there were, I think, was it like 3 or 5, if I'm mistaken, red heifers that came from Texas about a year or so ago that went to Jerusalem that they kept, in secret, so no one could find where they are and slaughter them before time. But they already had the perfect red heifers in Israel waiting for the third temple to be built.
So
Hasn't there
Daniel
also
dropped
been
in
talk
$5.
about the red?
Oh,
There's
no,
also been
I
talk
gotta
about
dip
people
out. I
thing.
gotta get to work in the morning.
All right, man. Have a good night. Daniel dropped in
See ya.
$5 and said, "Bro, it's a piece of paper. Dems don't give a shit about it. All it does is restrain us. We need an executive that actually wields power. Constitution be damned."
Holy shit.
Daniel,
Okay.
Daniel,
Wow.
Daniel for dictator for life.
I think that, like, if we are not to have the great reset that HBO Matt's talking about, which I think we're probably too far down the fucking path, that we need to have basically another
A king.
no, what was it when we went to Jerusalem and fought the Muslims all the way back? I'm
Crusade.
right now.
Crusade.
Yeah, we need a new crusade. We need another crusade,
Okay.
and it needs to
God.
be. It needs to be from not from a government, but from a ideology, from Christianity itself, from maybe the Pope. I don't fucking know. But
Yeah, fuck the Pope. He's evil and demonic.
But again, I think we're too far down the fucking line, dude. I honestly think that there's no saving it at this point. It's
Yeah.
bracing for impact,
Like
It's
I
gonna
said,
be a lot of
I believe
trouble
we are
with
in the end
warfare.
times.
Anyway,
A good example of that's
Later,
using
man.
the Constitution. Huh, what?
I
Sorry.
was saying later to HBO.
Oh, I was
Later,
gonna say. See you later. A good example would be like the Constitution restraining us, and we need to not use it as a suicide pact, but we need to, follow it to our best of our ability. Like Lindsey Graham voted to affirm, was it Elena Kagan and the other dumb bitch that they put on the Supreme Court when he was like one of the votes that got
Ketanji
them.
Jackson Brown.
Yeah, that one. But
Yeah.
his argument was if you go and look in the Constitution, it says the president appoints them, and the Senate's job is to advise and consent. And if you look at the history of the language and the people who wrote about it, like you're supposed to for context of what they actually meant, it was basically meant to like keep someone from appointing like someone who is like your son-in-law or something like that to nepotism for just a. It's not meant to keep someone out because the majority of the Senate doesn't like their opinions. It doesn't like how they're ruled, how they would potentially rule on something. I'm sorry, I'm not being very, very eloquent, but he was technically right in voting on that to confer them to the Supreme Court. However, I have no doubt that if the founders were in the United States Senate and knew what the implications of putting them in their beliefs are like literally subversive, and they're basically an enemy to the United States of America, I don't doubt for 1 second that the vast majority of the founders, even some of the people that probably wrote that, would have not voted to confirm those SOBs.
So we're getting close to the end of the show here, which kind of it put something on my heart today, and that is from Christian teachings, and it's about forgiveness, it's about repentance, it's about God's plan being greater than ours. Because how many times in your life have you had a plan that didn't work, and things at the time that they weren't working out seemed like the end of the world, or seemed like your life was ending, or seemed like everything's falling apart, only for 6 months, 10 years, whatever it is later, for you to look back on that event and be thankful for what happened, And I think for all of us, there is something in our personal lives that we can look back on and reflect upon and say, man, at the time, that was the worst, hardest thing that I've ever been through. But now looking back on it years later, I can see how I'm stronger as a person. I can see how that benefited people around me in ways that I couldn't have known at the time. I can see how God's plan came through in spite of me praying for the opposite of that, in spite of me hoping and praying and planning and doing all the things that I could possibly do in order to make that thing not happen, that did happen, you know?
Yeah, that's why I say.
Well, hold on, dude. Let me finish my point.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's what's up.
And I think with what's going on in the world today, we're all kind of looking at the situations happening around us and we're saying, man, everything's falling apart and everything's for the worse. And I don't see how we're ever going to recover from this. And I don't see how this is ever going to be a good thing. But I think, and I believe, and I think that it's God's plan that in a few years, a decade, who knows, maybe a fucking century. I'm not sure how long it's going to take because it's on God's timeline, not ours. That people will look back, maybe not us, at these times right now and say, thank God that went down exactly how it did, because who knows where we would be if it didn't. That's it.
Yeah, all I was going to say is I personally believe, like you were saying, everything happens for a reason. I believe that whether we know it or not in the moment or even ever, everything happens for a reason. So, like you said, you know, I agree.
The best
Amen,
laid
brother.
plans of
Amen.
mice and men, right?
Amen to that.
All right, guys. Well, we've been going an hour and 45 minutes, which is about 15 minutes longer than we normally do for the Gay Frog Chat. So, you know, although the first 55 minutes were just fucking crazy stories that we were telling, which was kind of cool, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Man, Corey, that's a crazy story about you saving that little girl, dude, or the little boy. Was it a boy?
Yeah, it was a little boy.
Is that really the best story of the day?
His name was
Yeah, he wins. He wins
Micah.
best story for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah, his name was Micah.
Well,
That's awesome, bro.
his mom, I'm sure, thanks you, even if she doesn't know your name, you know? And
Yeah.
sometimes the good deeds we do go unthanked, and that's okay. You don't necessarily do them so that you get thanks. You do them because it's the right thing to do.
That's why I was saying I don't consider what I did, you know, as being a hero. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And Dark Passenger actually said it pretty well, and you know that made me feel good how he said it. But he basically said that, you know, some mother somewhere is thankful that I was there. You know, yeah, that's just, you know, summing it up. So.
Yeah, no, that's good enough. You know,
I'm thankful for that. That's good. I'm thankful too.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, anyway, I love the way that we just ended that chat, so we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Deuces, y'all. Sean at P and Fridge, Trooping to Shabanaba to Pressure, Batakath Care, Prec the Troops, 2 words made in America.
Penis.
And we will see you all next time. Deuces, y'all.
Later.
Oh, and Daniel, it's Tuesday nights right now.